Welcome to All Things Retreat Podcast. I'm Holly Porter, your host and CEO of Retreat R&R. With over 25 years of experience in designing transformative retreats, I'm here to share insights and inspiration to help you create extraordinary experiences. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, you'll find valuable ideas here. Enjoy the ride. Let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome to the show today. We're going to shift things up just a little bit. I'm going to talk to my good friend Linda Schwader, and we've known each other for quite a few years. We met in an organization called eWomen Network and then just became lifelong friends, I would say. And Linda is part of our International Retreat Association, not just a member, not just a founding member, but she's our top level, which is our leadership council. So thanks for coming and joining me on the show to have a conversation today, Linda.
Delighted to be here.
It's always nice to do business things, friend things together. I love when they can combine and we can do great things. So thank you for doing great things with me.
Well, it's my honor. And I love what the journey that we're on together with the International Retreat Association.
It is exciting. I love
so
doing
exciting.
Stuff that lights people up because it lights me up. So when people get it as excited as me, like you have, it just makes me so happy. So thank you. Tell us a little bit about your background, because I want to talk about some cool things on the horizon, and not just with the association and leadership council, but with what we're building as part of all that. So share with us a little background, and then we'll kind of jump into more of what we're creating with I shouldn't say we're creating, you're
creating. Prior to COVID, I had been in sales. I was a recruiter, trainer, manager, motivator, certified trainer, all those things in the sales world. And I did that throughout. I started selling books door to door when I was in college. And then from there on, it just continued, and I learned and grew. And that's what I did. And then everything that I was doing was always in person. COVID happened. Pandemic changed everything. And so then I started teaching online. And one of the dreams I'd always had in the back of my mind was to do a retreat. But I always say that someday is no day, meaning someday I'm going to do a retreat. But if you don't have it on the calendar, then there's no day, you know what I mean? And so during that time, I started teaching some program called Live Your Legacy. And I said that one of my goals that I have someday is to do a retreat. And from that point forward, as the universe works, I met somebody, Sherry Rosenthal, who has a retreat blueprint program. I started working with Sherry. I learned all about retreats. I started hosting retreats, and that was 5 years ago. So it's a little over 5 years. And so 5 years ago, I got into this retreat space. I love this, industry, the space, because people that are in retreats, wanting to host retreats, attend retreats, anything to do with it, are aspirational people, meaning they want to do something with their life. They want provide transformation. They want to experience transformation. Somebody that comes home from work and just sits in front of the TV and they don't do much, and they're not, life is comfortable and they're not really looking to aspire to anything. They're not in this space. So that's what I love about it. People are all the way from very, very woo-woo to very business-like, but they still want some kind of transformation in their life to make themselves grow in a new direction.
Yeah, I love that. So it's so amazing. And you're right. Transformation is important to retreat people in this whole industry, and it's life-changing. I mean, that's why they call it transformational. So I love that piece of it. And I love that we're building something that's going to help support that system even more than it already is. We're growing into a $363 billion industry by 2029. I mean, that's wild to think.
And that's at the low level, because with AI that's changing the world, one of the biggest problems that people have is loneliness.
Yeah.
They can have more friends on Facebook than anything, but doesn't mean that they are more connected. They're connected electronically, but people statistically show that they're much lonelier.
It's so true.
So they still want community, and people in the retreat space want to have community. They want to have connection. They want to have similar people to what they, so for example, if it's a yoga retreat, then that's what they're interested in. Somebody else is interested in a rustic retreat where they go ride horses. You can find a retreat that fits anything that you want, but you can find a community within that space. And that's what people need and want.
And really with the association, that's really my goal. One of my many goals, that I want to bring people in like spaces together. So as we grow, like right now we're offering classes once a week, that we're doing the 12 universal laws, of course, but we, promise there's a master class at least one a month. And eventually we'll be able to separate that out into health and wellness. And maybe you're in corporate space, maybe you're in men's space, women's space, whatever that looks like. As we grow, we want to make sure we're serving the community and helping you connect to everybody. It will always have a networking aspect to it for me, because we can learn. I feel like it's like TED Talk was brilliant, because you get in there in 16 to 18 minutes and you can learn so much by listening to just that short piece of information that gives you so much information. And I feel like that's what I want our classes to be more like. You're getting the information quickly, but then you get to talk about it. Like you've been attending our universal laws, and that's the structure. So then we talk about it, we network about it, and you get to meet new people. And as we grow, we'll break out into more rooms in there. And so I think it's been really valuable. For at least the feedback I'm getting is great. People that are coming are loving it.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, even if you know what the 12 universal laws are, like for example, I think last week was the law of attraction, and the week before was law of vibration. You hear a new perspective of it, and we're also a new place in our life. Yeah. We are never the same as we were a year ago when we heard something, or 6 months ago, or 6 years ago. We progress. We're in a new space, and it's good to hear that again. It's good to be reminded of this again. And sometimes you learn something brand new that you never heard before, but mostly we're at a different place in our life, and it sits different with us. It registers. It's like, oh yeah, I got kind of rusty in that area. I need to kind of polish that up just a little bit.
Well, so and a different teacher too, hearing it differently. Yeah,
absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about the Leadership Council with the International Retreat Association. And then I want to kind of weave that into what we were going to talk about. So the Leadership Council, when I had the God-given idea, is what I call it, to start this and did a little bit of research, I got really excited when I found out there wasn't one that existed, because I love a blank canvas. And I mean, I think there's a lot more challenges to that as well, but I feel like just being able to create something that doesn't exist and hasn't existed in this space is exciting. But we don't have to follow anyone's rules. We can really have our own. And with that being said, I wanted to build it. This is my 12th startup company, and I wanted to build it differently because I knew it would be bigger than anything I've ever built. So I started with, instead of opening membership and starting there, we started with the Leadership Council. And it's a very, very elite, curated group in my mind. It's your movers and shakers that it's an invite only or application only group that is a mastermind. That's really what you're joining. And we talk about the problems and the challenges that are out in this industry. And really, like for me, it has to be a win-win. I want it to be a business where you're already very successful, and you already maybe reserve retreat leaders or the retreat industry, or you realize that's a whole new group of people that you hadn't realized available to you, that now will be available to you to build your business even bigger. So those are really the people we've looked for. And Linda, you are part of that. And I know you came in, you can speak to that as well. But you came in more as the enrollment specialist, because how important is it after you get people on your mail list and you're promoting and you're marketing to these people to come to your retreat, and then you're struggling with enrolling them into the retreat, and how important that is. So we're going to talk about that. And also, I know you've been working on a new program, and we're bringing that out now. It's ready. And I'm so excited for the whole industry for this reason, because you are an expert in this area, and I think it's so needed. So let's talk about that. Tell me about like what kind of got you rolling into that piece of it, and give us your version.
Well, for one thing, in the last 5 years, I've been in the retreat space, but prior to that, for years, I've been in the sales space. Okay, sales is different than marketing. Marketing gets people, like if you're going to fish in a pond, they're the fish in the pond. That's your pond. You, Holly, are going to have a different pond than I have, because you have different avatar. So we're going to assume that this is a pond with my avatar in it. That's marketing. But in order to actually say, I'm going to go on a retreat, you can have a lot of people in that pond that are very interested in it. But until they say, yes, I'm going to go on your retreat with you, because all the things align. They have to align in, they know, like, and trust you. They have to align that the dates work, that the place that you're going to go to, that the transformation, there's a lot of components that they have. Being excited about your retreat, interested in your retreat, does not mean they're going to go on your retreat.
Right.
There's, so I heard one time there's Pain Island and Pleasure Island. So basically, you're on the one island and you want to go on this retreat, which is another island. You have to get over there. So that's a decision. And what some people do in this space is they have all the bells and whistles here, and it sounds really great and everything. And people go, "Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, that's exciting. No, that looks good. Your sales page looks good. Everything looks good." But they never pull the trigger, so to speak, to say, "I'm going to get on the boat that's going to go to the island," because that's a decision that they have to make. The decision is, I'm going to take the time, the money, I'm going to go on this. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so there's a lot of people that are out there that have great ideas with retreats, great transformation that they can provide. They've had years of experience, and yet they don't know how to help people make a clear decision. And the decision does not have to be a yes. It could be no, not ever. It could be no, not now. I mean, I've had people that say, I want to go on a retreat. I want to go on a retreat with you. That weekend or that week doesn't work for me. That's no, not now.
Yeah.
So the real point is that helping people get to a clear decision is you don't just sit back and wait for them to call you up and say, "Okay, well, I've been thinking about this and this is what I'm thinking." It just doesn't happen. You ask them a series of questions that lead them down, not to has to be a yes. There's no pushy pressure, blah, blah, blah. That's not a good thing. I always say, if you have to push people in, you have to push them through, and, drag them in, you drag them through. I mean, I don't want to do that. That feels yucky. That's inauthentic. The people in this space want to have authenticity. They want to have realness. And so my conversation with you would be to find out really, truly what it is you want at your heart and soul, and then align you with the retreat that I'm giving if it matches. And if it doesn't, I'd say, this is not for you.
And be willing to let that go.
Maybe find somebody else that does that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you want something from a retreat that I don't teach at my retreat.
Right.
I'm going to give you an example. The women that I work with in the past, they are at this stage of life where maybe they have, the kids are grown, their next chapter kind of thing. Maybe their husband died, maybe they got a divorce. Let's just say that they've been married 29 years. The husband leaves them for a younger woman, and they're still what I call bleeding all over. Yeah. That's not my woman. She needs to go to another retreat that somebody else is holding.
Heal.
Helps her through the healing process.
Yeah.
Because the women that I have in mind have gone through that path and are at a different stage of their life. So there's retreats for everybody.
Absolutely.
What I love about the International Retreat Association is that there's going to be, it doesn't matter which industry you're in. You said health and wellness, there's all kinds of different kinds of retreats that people have.
Yeah.
Marriage, and they can be about parenting. It could be yoga. I mean, there's just so many different kinds. But what makes you unique that people are going to be attracted to you and your retreat? And that's what we help with.
Yeah. Well, and I think it really helps make it easy when you've had that. I think we teach what we've been through, teach what we know, as we should, because if you're going in and trying to be an expert at something that you know nothing about, it shows. That unauthenticity shows to people. And I was sharing with you earlier, my husband and I haven't really been called to do my own retreat since I got really sick during COVID. And now I'm like, oh, my husband and I are at a different stage of life. We have 8 adult children, 19 grandkids. And one day I got the idea, how fun would it be? I've always wanted to just before COVID, we had a couples retreat that we were going to do. And then of course, COVID hit, and it was going to be so much fun, but it was more of a couples retreat. And now our niche is more couples that have blended families. United and blended is what we're calling, or blended and united.
is what we're calling them. And now it's like, we have expertise in that. I mean, we have 8 adult children. They're all still alive. They've got a lot of offspring, but we went through a lot of challenges. And so I feel like that is such a need to keep couples not only together, especially after first marriages, second marriages, the percentages go up of divorce rate. And so if we can get the couple united, they're going to be a lot healthier to help support that blended family. And I think it's just figuring out, that. And so I feel like also when you talk about enrollment and like your piece of it is if someone's coming to me, obviously they're not a good fit if they're not a blended family, right? I mean, I'm not doing just couples retreat. You need to have been divorced or separated from the partner, whatever, if you weren't married, and now you're blending families together. And so I think it's just being in alignment with those things, make it easier to get the information. And then you come in the picture and you give those skills that help them go, okay, well, if you say it this way, you've helped me a ton. And that's not my strength. My strength, I'm the big idea person. I'm like, say it whatever and probably say way more than I should or could, but it's like, that's who I am. And it's like, I want people to realize, hey, I've got some expertise. I'm going to offer this and this is going to be great. But it's sometimes just the way you say it. And you've helped me a lot in that area where it's like, I just figure, everyone will you offer something great and everyone's just going to come and sign up. And why wouldn't they? Like, and my husband always says, people don't think like you do.
Well, I will say that. First of all, when you talk about, you're united and blended, we can't teach what we don't know.
Yeah.
We just can't. We can't teach what we haven't lived.
Right.
I can talk about it, but it's not from, it's from a head space, not a heart space.
Yeah.
And really, truly, retreats are about the heart space. And the thing that I want most people to understand, it's not always the words that you're saying, it's the beliefs that you have about yourself and your ability to do things. So for example, if somebody says to me, I hate networking, but I'm going out to network because I need to meet people. Well, what kind of energy are you giving? What are you doing? I hate selling, but I really want to fill my retreat. All right. Well, what I'm saying is you're trying to get them to have transformation, and transformation doesn't start the day they walk into the retreat. Transformation starts the moment they say yes to themselves. I'm going to enroll into the retreat. So that might be 2 months before the retreat starts. Mm-hmm. But transformation starts when they say yes to themselves before they say yes to you.
Yeah.
And that's part of what I say in my program, that I'm, say yes to sold out retreats. It's heart-centered enrollment turns interest into I'm in.
I love that. I also want to add,
words.
I think it's not just when you sign up. I think it's what brought them there, the energy that you're giving off. We've talked about this in the universal laws classes, law of vibration. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, it's really like they're seeing your vibe. They're feeling how you are. And so you're enrolling them to how you're being. And so what experience you have them coming in, you want them to also experience the whole time and right. Then experience more of that. So if it's a good feeling, you want them to feel great and even better when they leave. Like that's really the goal I think most people want to see happen. So it's how you as a retreat leader can make that happen. And I think, from the day they sign up, it's got to be some kind of energetic alignment and keep that going all the way through, because they might sign up 6 or 8 months before the retreat. That's maybe true. A year in some cases if they're international.
Yes. Oh yes, yeah. We are in we're in the fall of 2026, and I know somebody that has a retreat next fall in 2027.
Yeah,
it's in Bhutan, and she's got it completely full already. So it's a year ahead.
Yeah,
they have time to plan and do all the kind of stuff, but they've already made the decision that in 1 year they're going on this big retreat.
I have a friend that's got one in Italy. It's in 2028. And I didn't realize that when she was enrolling me. She's like, yeah. I said, I'm not sure I can commit to that. We've got a lot of things going on with my husband and I, and moving and doing all these things happening, She goes, well, this is 2028. I was like, oh, I'm not sure I can look that far ahead.
Yeah. That's
Anyway, it was
farther
just
than
cute. It was
most
cute how
people.
she said that, but it shows how organized she is because she's offering, I think she's doing 6 or 8 a year now. I mean, this is kind of her gig and her jam, and she specializes a lot in cruise type retreats, which makes it easy, I think, because kind of everything's done for you. You know, she's just going there and having the party with them and having the fun, and she does have a lot of fun. So, but the Italy one sounded really interesting. That's one place I haven't been yet. So I was like, oh, okay, 2028. Gosh, I'm like not sure I can plan that far in advance. I really could.
Like some people have them in different places. I know somebody that recently I met, she has all of her retreats in Provence, France, because she loves that area and she loves everything about it and wants to share it with people. And I know other people that every retreat they do is in a different location, and most of them, in her case, are international, but some people do it different locations here in the United States.
Yeah.
And so, the great thing is that you can have Iceland, you can have Australia, you can have Zanzibar. I mean, you can have retreats anywhere.
Right.
But then you have to track the right person that wants to go to those locations.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the travel, because if they're going to travel, if it's only about the travel, they can go to Zanzibar without you. It's about the combination of the travel. It's the transformation, and it's you.
Yeah. What's going to be at the other end when they come out of all this?
Yeah. Well, they also, there's a big factor that, they have to know, like, and trust you.
Yes.
Or they're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
Or this has happened to me. They don't know me, but they know a person that's enrolled in my retreat, and that person gets them to go because they trust them. That person trusts me. So it's a referral. I've had lots of times. Yeah. It's not that they meet me sometimes the first time we've ever had any interaction is when they come to the retreat, but they trusted the person that talked to them about coming to the retreat.
Yeah. Yes. Except I would have a requirement. I want to meet everybody at least on a Zoom before, because I'd like to get to know them so I recognize them and know some fun things about them before. Just, I think that makes
after my first retreat of doing that, yes, I would do the same thing.
Yeah. I teach that to people. Well, okay. So let's see. We're going to put your information in the show notes. And that being said, that'll give them your information, your website, because this new program's launching pretty soon. So go check it out. If it's something you need some assistance on and you need enrollment help, Liz is definitely the expert to do it with. And I think she's launching it with a little better price, just so you know, than it will be. So it's always, I'm an early adopter. So I never mind jumping in first, because I feel like for me, when I do something first, I want to over deliver that. I want to make sure I give it all. So there you go. I know Linda will be the same way, and you'll learn so much from her. So anything else you want to add to that?
No, I just am delighted to be part of. You're so creative. The ideas that you have for the vision that you have for the International Retreat Association and where this direction is going and what it's going to become are extremely exciting.
Oh, thanks. I know sometimes my husband's like, turn it off. Your brain, shut it down. But that's all right. I get excited.
You're creative. Creatives are creative.
Yeah. And I've had to actually ask for a little bit of grace to let something sit in, get it done. Because I get so many ideas, and it's like, biggest lesson I've learned in the last year is that squirrel needs to just squirrel off, because I need to focus. And I proved to myself last year when I got my book done, I could just focus on that. And so then my agreement was, I'll focus on this. And here we are. And that's what I'm staying on, that, sticking to my story. So cool. Appreciate that, and appreciate you and all that you're doing for the association, because it is such a great organization. And I can't wait till more people hear about us. I feel like we're still so new, and word is getting out. I mean, I get that, but it's just like, but I can't wait. I just can't wait. I'm so excited to meet new people. And every week we have new people that show up, and it's fun to just, I feel like I'm getting new friends all the time. So
what did you figure out today? You grew your was it Substack, or was it?
Well,
was it
both. So our YouTube, our Substack. What was the other thing? Yeah, because it was the podcast. The podcast followers on our YouTube and the Substack. Those were the two, I think. What did you figure? I don't know. I had you doing the math.
30 times, I mean.
Yeah, like in a couple months.
It wasn't what do they call it? Geometrical growth. It was exponential growth. That's what's happening.
I love that. So I want to keep seeing that happen, just because the more people we get in here, the more people everyone have to build a community with and network with. And
That's right.
I can see people like combining the retreats. I could see somebody in marketing and promotional working with you on enrollment. So we talked about that today. Linda and I have been masterminding today. I'm actually in Dallas at her house right now. We're going to a conference this week, so we came in early to like work on some behind the scenes stuff. So constantly thinking of everybody in this organization and industry, and I hope you feel that.
Sounds great.
Okay, everyone. Till next time. Thanks, Linda, for sharing all your knowledge and coming on. And you can get her information in the show notes for her enrollment. Are we calling it a class?
Well, it's a 6-week class online.
Yeah. Okay, 6-week class online.
Very experiential and interactive.
And she'll enroll you into the enrollment class if you get a hold of her.
So that sounds good.
No pun intended. Just kidding. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of All Things Retreat. We hope you're leaving with new ideas, fresh inspiration, and the motivation to take your retreats to the next level. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It helps us grow and reach more retreat leaders like you. And if you have any questions, topics you'd like us to cover, or just want to say hello, send us an email at info@weretreatrnr.com. Follow us on social media to stay connected and catch all the latest updates. Until next time, remember, great retreats start with great intentions. Let's make them extraordinary, one step at a time. Thinking about hosting a retreat? Before you dive in, let's make sure you're really ready. Grab your free Are You Retreat Ready checklist and find out if you've got everything in place, from your purpose and pricing to your audience and agenda. Don't guess. Get clear. This quick checklist will show you exactly where you stand and what you need to make your retreat a success. Click the link below in the show notes to grab your gift and take the first step toward hosting with confidence.